Hey, happy Thursday. This puppy that we got is adorable. She's kept us up the last 3 nights. Now, last night she didn't howl a bunch, but she still has to get up and go to the bathroom. So it kind of feels, it reminds me of when my children were like little babies. And so I don't feel bad that my husband's been taking this new puppy out, because I was like, you know what? For 5 years, like, I nursed these children at night, so I didn't have a full night's sleep for like 5 years. Not really worried about it. No, we're working it out, and we love her. We are trying to decide on a couple names. Ripley is one of those names. I'm really partial to Tilda. I don't know. So right now she's Ripley, and she's Puppo, and she's Puppers, and she's Pubbers, and we'll figure it out. So the reason that you're here is it's Thursday, and I've got 3 things to share with you. The first thing I want to share is a fun term that I learned from Urban Dictionary, because Urban Dictionary is the best. Shelf esteem. So don't fool yourself by like getting a boost of shelf esteem, buying a bunch of like personal development books or courses, and then like never reading them, never taking them. Rachel Hollis talked about this, I think in one of her recent podcasts, where like someone would come for a book signing and they had their Start Today journal, but they never used it. So she's like signing this journal, and she's like, why aren't you using it? It's a tool, do the work with it. And the woman's like, I'm going to someday. Sometimes, and we see this especially in the fitness realm, right? When I buy yoga pants, I feel pretty good about myself. Like I did the yoga. So don't fool yourself by buying all the stuff to get ready to do the thing and give yourself that boost of self-esteem, but you didn't actually do the work. And we're all guilty. I know I do it. There are many books unread that I bought and just kind of felt better because I bought them. And I'm not always the best at keeping up on yoga, but I do love exercise clothes, and they are comfortable and they make me feel fit, even if I'm not fit. I may be thin, I'm not always fit. So shelf esteem. Can you relate? Is that you? Have you ever like went out and bought the stuff and then just kind of checked the thing off the list? Like you did it? If you did, comment. I want share. It's good to know someone else does that. Obviously other people do it. Urban Dictionary has a term for it. Okay. Number 2 thing. Yesterday in my feed, I shared a Seth Godin quote. You need to be clear with yourself about what you are afraid of, why you are afraid of it, and whether you care enough to dance with that fear, because it's never going to go away. So this came from Tim Ferriss, the Tim Ferriss Show, podcast episode, I wrote it down here, 376. So episode 376 of the Tim Ferriss Show it's an interview with Seth Godin. If you are not familiar with Seth Godin's work, he wrote It's Your Turn, The Big Moo, The Dip. He's really good at, he's a brilliant marketer, without appearing like not spammy, cheesy, Instagrammy marketer. Like he understands people and he notices things. And if you ask Seth Godin, what do you do? He says, I notice things and I write about them. If you type the word Seth into Google, his blog is number 1. He writes a daily blog and has for years. He believes everyone should write a daily blog, even if you do it anonymously, because it forces you to pay attention and to notice little details. And it's those little tiny details that sculpt our world. And it makes him a brilliant marketer. He sees trends before other people do. And he's just a really, really interesting guy. So definitely check this episode out just to hear a new perspective, a fresh perspective, even though he brings a fresh take, a fresh perspective to how he sees the world. Yeah, I don't know quite how to explain it, but I like him. I learn a lot from him. But in this quote, he's talking about how people are like, there's an assumption that at some point, the thing you were afraid to do, like say that you're an artist and you're afraid of rejection, or an author and you're afraid of what people might say about what you're writing about. Whatever it is, you're afraid to start the business. You're afraid to invest the money. That fear, the fears that we wrestle with, they're with us. So we look at the people that we see as successful in whatever realm they're in, and we think that they've just got it, that they're that they don't get stage fright anymore, that they don't get nervous, and that they don't have fear. They do. We all do, and you have to figure out what those fears are and why you have them, so that you can kind of push through them, and you kind of have to want the thing more than the fear. So it takes really understanding where the fear's coming from. So one of my big fears is failure. And not just failure like, oops, I messed it up, it didn't work. Failing publicly. Putting something out there and having the world look at it and go, no, honey, not you. Like, that is a really deep fear for me, that in order for me to get on an Instagram Live, I have to kind of shake it off and just do it. Because the things that I want to share with you are bigger than that fear. So if I want to ripple out into the world, I do believe that the world changes when we do. And in order for the things around us to change, it starts here. I believe that so much that sweaty palms and a shaky voice and feeling nervous aren't enough anymore to prevent it. Because I'm caring too much about it. So you gotta care enough to dance with that fear, because it's not going anywhere. Sorry, it's not. You don't get to be unafraid later. You just push through it. There is no fearless. And the last thing I want to share with you, so definitely Tim Ferriss Show, episode 376, really good interview. He's a really quirky guy. The last thing I want to share with you is I had shared a Michelle Obama quote about how we get to define success. That success is not what other people say it is. We get to define how that looks in our own lives, what that means. And obviously I talk a lot about money, and we live in a culture globally, not just America, but we have begun to use money as a measurement, it's the yardstick for success. And we see it in headlines when we talk about people being billionaires. You know, I love a good Shark Tank episode, but we have begun to celebrate financial successes more than maybe other successes. So the way I look at it, specifically with money, is that money is a tool for your success. It is not the measure of it. Money is something that we get to use in our lives to achieve things, to build things, to create things. It shouldn't be the goal. Money isn't the goal, it's what money provides that is the goal. And you get to determine what that is. You get to decide how to use money in your life and what success really means. And that might be that maybe you own your home and your family gets to, maybe you don't have to work nights and weekends, and that's success for you. Or maybe success is that you get to be at every event for your children. Maybe success is that you get 4 hours a week just to paint or write or dance or do whatever it is that feeds your soul. So money provides those things. It is not the measurement of your success, and it is not the measurement of your worth. So that was something that I chatted with someone a bit on the internet this week. And it's something I really believe. And it's why I want you to be more intentional with your money. And I want you to have what money can provide you. And when we're intentional with it, we can use it as the tool it was meant to be. We got to quit measuring. We have to quit using money as the standard of measurement, because it just isn't. Because there are a lot of really rich people who are miserable and hate everything, and you would not want that life for yourself. And I don't think that's success. And I don't think you think that's success. So that's just something I've been thinking about this week. I'm going to be writing about it more in depth in the future. But those are the 3 things I have for you. So self-esteem, are you guilty of it? I am. I totally am. Seth Godin interview on Tim Ferriss's podcast, episode 376. Loved it. And then money is a tool for your success, but it isn't the measurement of it. So I hope you have a wonderful Thursday. I hope you have a wonderful weekend. I will be flooding my stories with puppy pictures. So just love on them. I mean, you can't hate puppy pictures. How could you hate puppy pictures? That's it. Have a great one, guys. Love ya.